I Ching forecast, global war predictions for 2025, Middle East and Taiwan Strait tensions. Produced by Victoria Fortune telling in the dual influence of the wood-fire energy of the year and the heightened fire energy of the 9 purple star cycle, the global situation shows signs of heightened tension and volatility. Globalization is facing unprecedented setbacks, and economic and trade cooperation is increasingly fragmented and polarized. This shift intensifies national conflicts and rivalries. Trump's Bazi, elements of fire and earth signify strong assertiveness and control, symbolizing a reversal of the globalist framework. His America First policy, with its exclusionary trade stance, has spurred economic protectionism and a rising imperialist mentality across various nations. His proposal to levy a 60% tariff on Chinese imports has escalated US-China economic rivalry, impacting the global trade structure and undermining economic peace. Here's a comprehensive forecast of key global conflict zones under these circumstances. Rising economic barriers and imperialist tendencies create a shift where countries prioritize domestic industries and resources, displaying protectionism inclinations in policy. Protectionism, trade sanctions, and diplomatic isolation are becoming more common as countries seek to protect their interests, shifting away from a global free trade system toward regional economic blocs. The peace brought by globalization is gradually being replaced by regional conflicts and economic competition. The US-initiated trade war marks a key turning point, weakening the stabilizing role of the global trade system. Restrictions and resource competition are creating more friction between nations, heightening the potential for conflict. Major powers are establishing economic and military zones, forming a new Cold War framework. This scenario intensifies competition over resources, markets, and technology, posing a fundamental threat to global peace. With globalization receding, nationalism is rising across countries, increasing the risk of internal divisions. Citizens are growing increasingly critical of their governments. Some governments may resort to military actions to deflect internal conflicts and rally public support, thus heightening the risk of war. 2. Middle East situation, heightened tensions with Israel, Iran, and Lebanon. Israel's dismissal of its defense minister signifies a shift toward a more aggressive foreign policy, suggesting a stronger deterrent stance toward Iran and Lebanon. Israel may take more aggressive military actions, such as increased surveillance and strikes on Iran's positions in Syria and Lebanon. The likelihood of strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities and military bases is growing. The US, Russia, and other major powers will likely increase their strategic stakes, utilizing the region's resources and geopolitical significance to assert influence. The US may boost military support for Israel, expanding its military presence in the Middle East, while Russia may continue providing economic and military aid to Syria and Iran. This polarization increases the risk of regional conflicts spilling over, with international support amplifying local tensions. As a critical source of global oil and gas, the Middle East is under heightened competition for resources. The energy contradictions stoked by the wood-fire energy of the year mean that Middle Eastern instability will directly impact global energy prices, especially oil and gas supply chains. Major powers, highly dependent on Middle Eastern energy resources, are likely to secure their energy supplies at any cost. The formation of regional alliances. Some Middle Eastern countries may form closer political and economic ties to counter external interference and address internal extremist threats. Some Middle Eastern countries strengthening economic and political ties with Eastern countries, such as China, reducing their reliance on Western powers. China and other Eastern powers may deepen economic ties through infrastructure projects and energy cooperation, creating new economic and political alliances. This adds further complexity to the Middle Eastern landscape and may escalate tensions between opposing factions. 3. Taiwan Strait and China domestic situation. The US tariff increases are exerting economic pressure on the mainland, further escalating both internal and external challenges. The explosive nature of fire energy is likely to heighten emotions and escalate conflicts. Both sides of the Taiwan Strait are becoming more confrontational, with the intensifying energy prompting more aggressive military and diplomatic moves. Public sentiment in the Taiwan Strait may be particularly sensitive to external stimuli. The US and other major powers may deepen involvement in the Taiwan Strait, potentially offering Taiwan military, arms, and diplomatic support to counterbalance China's influence. US-China geopolitical competition will internationalize the Taiwan Strait issue further. The US may strengthen its military presence in the Asia-Pacific region. Both sides of the Taiwan Strait to commit more resources to military technology and preparedness. Both sides may enhance their development and deployment of advanced weaponry, with intelligence-driven and precise military forces becoming focal points in their competition. The restructuring of China's domestic industries will require significant investment, while rising unemployment and homelessness will increase public security challenges and drive up the cost of maintaining social stability. Local governments of China may face financial pressures that affect public services and security management. Semiconductors, electronics, energy, and other key sectors of China will become targets for sanctions and blockades. Taiwan's critical role in the semiconductor supply chain means any escalation of conflict will severely impact global supply chains. Major powers may impose economic sanctions and technological embargoes on the mainland, while Taiwan may also face external trade pressure. This situation may prompt mainland China to boost economic self-sufficiency and restructure supply chains, transforming global trade dynamics and forming new economic fronts. Both sides of the Taiwan Strait may strengthen propaganda and ideological control, particularly guiding young people towards certain political positions. This may lead to fierce conflicts in public opinion, further destabilizing the Taiwan Strait situation. In summary, the compounded effects of US tariffs, economic impacts, and increased intervention have made the Taiwan Strait issue highly volatile. Rising fiscal pressures, unemployment, and homelessness are driving up social management costs of China. Your subscription and shares inspire us to bring you more I Ching stories. Victoria Fortune Telling Wu.victoriafortunetelling.com